Imagine this. You're holding a small English book in your hands. You open it slowly, expecting to feel lost, but as you read the first few lines, something surprising happens. You understand. Not every word maybe, but enough. The story flows. You smile. There's no dictionary, no stress, just you and the story. It feels almost magical, doesn't it? Like you've opened a secret door you didn't know you had. A door to a peaceful, exciting world where English finally feels friendly. Now, let me ask you something gently. Have you ever dreamed of reading in English without feeling afraid? No fear of unknown words, no pressure to be perfect, just pure enjoyment? If so, you're not alone. Many learners have this dream, and today we're going to explore a beautiful key that can help make it real. It's not a boring list of vocabulary. It's not grammar drills or endless translation. It's something soft and powerful, something called graded readers. These are special books made just for learners like you. Books that match your level, gently repeat useful words, and guide you through stories that feel safe, interesting, and motivating. In this video, we'll walk together through the world of graded readers. You'll discover what they are, why they work so well, and how they can slowly transform your English vocabulary without you even noticing. So if you've ever felt like English was too hard or just not for you, take a deep breath. This might be the gentle push you need, because behind that quiet little book you hold, there's a whole new way of learning waiting. And today, we'll step through that secret door together. Graded readers are like gentle friends in the world of English learning. They don't rush you, they don't judge you, and they don't expect you to be perfect. Simply put, a graded reader is a book written specially for English learners. The stories are not childish, but the language is carefully chosen so that it fits your level. It's like someone took a real story and painted it with the words you already know, then slowly added just a few new ones, enough to help you grow, but never enough to make you feel lost. These books are built on a smart system of levels. For example, at the A1 level, a book may use only 300 to 400 core words. That's perfect if you're just starting. As you move up to A2, B1, and B2, the number of words increases, reaching about 2,000 words or more at higher levels. But here's the beautiful part. Each level feels like a soft step forward. You don't jump, you rise. Slowly, safely, naturally. Unlike newspapers or original novels, which are often filled with complex grammar and words that can make you feel small or confused, graded readers are designed to give you success from the very first page. Imagine picking up a normal book and stopping every 5 seconds to look up words. Frustrating, right? That kind of experience can make you feel like English will never be yours. But a graded reader does the opposite. It makes you feel like, hey, I can do this. I remember one of my students, a quiet learner who never believed she could enjoy reading in English. One day, she opened a graded reader called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, starter level. She started reading it slowly, expecting the usual confusion, but after a few pages, she looked up, eyes wide, and whispered, I understood it. That moment was magical, not because she knew every word, but because the story made sense. She felt smart. She felt strong. And from that day on, she kept reading, one book after another, like discovering a world that had been waiting for her. Graded readers come in many forms, and you can choose the ones that speak to your heart. Some are based on famous stories, like Sherlock Holmes or Jane Eyre. Others are exciting adventures or everyday tales with characters just like you. Publishers like Oxford Bookworms, Penguin Readers, and Cambridge English Readers are known for their wide variety and quality. Each publisher follows a level system, so you can always find books that are just right for where you are now. Not too hard, not too easy, but gently challenging, like the perfect workout for your brain. Some books even come with audio, so you can listen and read at the same time, training both your ears and eyes together. These readers are more than just books. They are tools for transformation. They give you the experience of success, page after page. They help you meet new words not as strangers, but as familiar friends returning again and again. And most importantly, they allow you to learn in peace. No pressure, no fear, just you, your imagination, and the feeling that English is slowly becoming a part of you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by big books or complicated texts, it's not because you're not smart. It's because the book wasn't written for your level. Graded readers are written for you. They're like stepping stones across a river. And with every page you turn, you move closer to the fluent, confident English speaker you were always meant to be. There is something quietly powerful about reading a story and suddenly realizing you've seen that word before. Not once, but 3 or 4 times, each in a slightly different sentence. You didn't try to memorize it. You didn't write it in a notebook. But now, somehow, it lives inside your mind. That's the gentle magic of graded readers. One of their biggest strengths is how naturally they repeat vocabulary. Not in a boring way, but in a smooth, meaningful rhythm, like a song you've heard a few times and can't help but hum along to. You meet the same useful words again and again, but always in new, fresh sentences. This kind of repetition is not only kind to your memory, it's the reason why so many learners remember words for years without even realizing they studied them. It feels effortless, yet the results are deep and lasting. But repetition alone isn't the secret. What truly makes graded readers shine is the way they place new words inside clear and simple situations. Imagine reading a line like, "She opened the door and saw a small dog sitting in the rain." Even if saw or sitting is new to you, your mind connects the meaning through the story. You picture the door, the rain, the dog, and just like that, the word is no longer a mystery. You don't need to stop and translate. The story itself becomes your teacher. And because everything happens in context, you start to trust your instincts. You begin to feel the meaning of English instead of just thinking about it. That is a big step toward fluency. Now think about the usual ways many people learn vocabulary. Long lists, flashcards, or apps with little pictures and translations. These methods may give you quick results, but the words don't always stay. They are often dry, disconnected, and easily forgotten. You may learn apple, run, or happy, but without a sentence, without a story, those words float away like clouds. In contrast, when you read a graded reader, the words are part of something bigger. They're alive. They breathe inside a story. And because of that, they stay with you, like scenes from a movie you watched and loved. Even better, the whole process feels surprisingly relaxing. You're not memorizing. You're not under pressure. You're just reading, maybe lying on your bed or sitting in a quiet corner with a warm drink. And as you follow the characters, you learn without even noticing. That's the beauty of it. You improve your vocabulary while enjoying the journey. You feel safe, you feel calm, you feel like English is finally working with you, not against you. Many learners tell me they don't believe they can understand English stories. They say, "I need to study more words first." But what if I told you that reading is the way you'll learn those words? Without stress, without fear. One of my favorite lines from a beginner-level graded reader goes like this. Tom looked at the river. He wanted to jump in, but the water was cold. He waited. Simple words, simple sentences. But you feel the moment, don't you? You can almost see Tom standing by the river, thinking. And because you understand the whole picture, every word in that sentence becomes easier to remember. The best part? You don't need to plan your vocabulary practice. You don't need to force anything. When you read stories written for your level, the learning happens gently, almost secretly. You're not studying, you're growing. Slowly, steadily, beautifully. And this kind of learning stays with you long after the book is closed. So next time you feel tired of learning vocabulary the hard way, remember this. You don't need to fight. You don't need to push. You just need to read and trust that the language will come to you. Graded readers are not a shortcut. They are a path, a calm, enjoyable, and powerful path. And as you walk it, step by step, you'll become someone who doesn't just know words, but someone who feels at home in English. Graded readers may look simple on the outside, but inside, each one is a quiet, clever system working in your favor. They're not just books. They're tools designed to help you grow gently and naturally. One of the ways they do this is through something that feels almost invisible, repetition with purpose. When you read a graded reader, you'll notice that important words don't appear just once and disappear. Instead, they come back. Again and again, always in new and meaningful ways. Imagine a short passage like this. Anna has a small cat. The cat is white. The small cat likes to sit by the window. Anna looks at the cat and smiles. You are a quiet cat, she says. In just a few lines, words like cat, small, window, looks, and quiet are gently repeated. You don't feel overwhelmed. You're simply enjoying the story. But in the background, your brain is quietly collecting those words, making connections and building memory, all without stress. This is part of what language experts call comprehensible input. It means reading or listening to something that you can understand mostly, about 90 to 95%, while still meeting a few new words along the way. This balance is so important. If something is too easy, you don't grow. If it's too hard, you give up. But when it's just right, your brain stays open, curious, and ready to learn. That's the magic of graded readers. They live in that perfect middle space. They give you confidence because you understand most of what's happening, and at the same time, they invite you to stretch just a little, learning one new word here, noticing one new phrase there. And here's another secret. Stories are powerful teachers. When you care about the characters, when you want to know what happens next, you keep reading, even if a few words are new. You're not studying anymore. You're exploring, you're feeling, you're imagining. This emotional connection makes learning stronger. Because when a word is tied to a moment, a feeling, a decision, a smile, or a surprise, you remember it longer. That's why a graded reader isn't just about vocabulary. It's about building a relationship with the language, one page at a time. I once had a student who used to say, "Reading in English makes me sleepy. I don't understand anything." She tried a few difficult books and felt frustrated. But then one day, she picked up a short graded reader, a story about a girl and her dog lost in the woods. The sentences were short. The vocabulary was simple. But the story had heart. She read one page, then another, and another. The next morning, she came to class and said, "I want to read more." Something had changed. That book, written with care and clarity, had opened a door in her mind. And once it opened, it stayed open. What makes this process so powerful is that you don't even realize it's happening. You're not sitting there thinking, now I'm learning vocabulary. You're just reading. But each page is giving you more and more exposure to the language in its real, natural form. You see how words connect. You feel how sentences flow. You start to sense the rhythm of English, not by force, but by feeling. You begin to understand full sentences, not by translating them word for word, but by simply knowing what they mean. And the more you read, the easier it gets. Suddenly, that word you saw yesterday appears again, and this time it feels familiar. The sentence structure that once confused you now feels smooth. Your brain, without any pressure, begins to trust English. You're no longer afraid of long sentences. You're no longer stuck in the trap of translating everything. You're starting to think in English, even just a little. And that's a beautiful thing. Graded readers work because they are built for you, for your level, your pace, your journey. They're like stepping stones across a river, carefully placed, easy to follow, and always leading forward. Each one supports you without rushing you. Each one gives you just enough challenge to keep moving. And when you reach the end of a book, you'll realize something special. Not only did you enjoy the story, but you also learned more English than you ever expected. So if you've ever doubted yourself, if you've ever thought, maybe I'm not good at languages, I want you to pause for a moment. Breathe. Because the path is here. The words are waiting. And with every sentence, every story, every book, you're becoming more confident, more fluent, and more free. Choosing the right graded reader is like choosing the perfect travel companion. Not too fast, not too slow, but someone who walks beside you step by step. The first and most important step is knowing your current level. Are you just beginning your English journey, learning how to build simple sentences and recognize common words? Then you may be at the A1 level. Or maybe you already understand basic conversations and can read simple stories with a little help. That could be A2. One way to check is to pick up a graded reader and read the first page without using a dictionary. If you understand about 80% of the words and can guess the rest from context, that book is likely a good fit for you. If you find yourself stopping too often or feeling confused, don't worry. Just try a book one level easier. There's no shame in starting small. In fact, starting at the right level is what builds your confidence and keeps your motivation strong. At A1 level, you can begin with short and simple stories that focus on everyday life or fun adventures. Books like The Witch's Starter or The Missing Coins are excellent choices. They use basic grammar and vocabulary, but still tell interesting stories that make you want to keep turning the page. If you're at A2 level, you can try something a bit more challenging. Stories like The Elephant Man or The Last Photo offer slightly richer language, but still keep things clear and manageable. These stories open the door to a deeper experience while still giving you the feeling of, yes, I can read this. Finding these books is easier than you might think. Many websites offer free access to graded readers, especially those at beginner levels. Platforms like Oxford Owl or English eBooks have digital libraries where you can read online or download stories to your device. Some schools and public libraries also have sections for English learners, with graded readers sorted by level. And of course, if you enjoy holding a book in your hands, you can find printed versions online or in bookstores. Many of these books include helpful extras like glossaries, comprehension questions, and even audio recordings. Speaking of audio, here's a little tip that can take your reading to the next level. Read aloud. Yes, even if you're alone, read the story out loud. This helps your mouth and brain work together, building stronger memory. If the book comes with audio, try listening and shadowing. That means speaking at the same time as the recording. At first, it may feel strange or even difficult, but soon you'll notice how your pronunciation improves and your confidence grows. The goal isn't to sound perfect. The goal is to feel the rhythm of English and make it your own. And here's something important to remember. You don't need to finish a whole book in one sitting. You don't even need to read a full chapter. Just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. 5 quiet, gentle minutes where you let the words flow into your mind like a soft stream. The power of graded readers isn't in reading a lot, but in reading regularly. It's in building a small habit that feels good and gives you tiny wins every time you understand a sentence, recognize a word, or feel the meaning of a page. So take your time. Choose a story that feels friendly and clear. Don't worry about being fast or perfect. This is your journey, and every page you read is a quiet step forward. The right book is out there, waiting for you. And when you find it, when you feel that special click where English becomes just a little easier, you'll know you're on the right path. Keep reading, keep trusting yourself, and let these small books carry you toward a big, beautiful fluency. So now, you've walked with me through the quiet world of graded readers, from understanding what they are to feeling how gently they help you grow. You've seen how they are written just for learners like you, how they repeat useful words in soft, meaningful ways, and how they wrap those words inside stories that make your heart curious and your mind feel safe. You've learned how this simple method is not about pressure or memorization, but about connection between you and the language, between the story and your sense of discovery. And maybe, just maybe, something inside you has started to shift. Because now, learning English doesn't feel like a mountain anymore. It feels like a path, calm, inviting, and made for your steps. The biggest difference, and perhaps the most beautiful, is that with graded readers, you are not forcing English into your brain. You are inviting it in. You are letting it settle, like sunlight through a window, like music in the background of your favorite afternoon. When you read these stories, you're not trying to remember words. They simply stay. Not because you studied them, but because you lived with them. You saw them. You felt them in action. And that's how real language grows. Not through fear, but through feeling. Imagine this. You're sitting in a quiet corner of a cafe. Maybe there's soft music, maybe just the sound of pages turning. In your hands is a small book. The sentences are easy to follow. You smile when you understand them without trying too hard. You turn the page. Another sentence flows. Another word feels familiar. And suddenly, without realizing it, you whisper to yourself, I'm reading in English. Not studying, not struggling, just reading. And in that moment, something opens inside you. A gentle confidence, a quiet pride. You're doing it. You're learning English, and it feels good. So here's a little challenge, wrapped in kindness. Choose one graded reader. Just one. Find a level that feels right for you. Don't worry about finishing it fast. Just promise yourself this. 5 minutes a day for the next 7 days. That's all. No pressure, no rules, just you and the story. Let yourself fall into it. Let the words float to you like old friends. Let English feel soft and safe and yours. And when those 7 days pass, look back and notice what's changed. You might be surprised. Not because you tried harder, but because you allowed yourself to enjoy the journey. If you've already read a graded reader before, I'd love to know, what book was it? Did it make you smile, or think, or dream in English, even just a little? If you've never tried one, maybe today is the day to start. Drop a comment below and share your experience or your curiosity. We're all learners here, walking side by side, and your story might just inspire someone else to take their first step too. Because in the end, vocabulary mastery isn't about knowing every word. It's about building a quiet, strong relationship with the language. One word, one sentence, one story at a time. And graded readers are the key that unlocks that door. So open it. Step through. Your English journey is waiting, and you're more ready than you think.